This is the Complexo da Maré, a sprawling cluster of favelas north of Rio de Janeiro. It's a jumble of improvised buildings, jerry-rigged wiring, and narrow alleyways. For years, the slum's 130,000 residents have lived in a state of constant insecurity, as control of Maré has shifted between armed drug gangs, police, and even paramilitary death squads. WSJ's Paul Kiernan filmed these scenes on the streets of Maré in early April. He reports that, up until a few weeks ago, the favela was controlled by rival groups of armed young men, whose turf battles often dictated when it was safe to walk the streets. But in late March, Brazil sent in heavily armed police, sending the gang members into hiding. On April 5th, 2,500 army soldiers and marines arrived, patrolling with assault rifles and military vehicles. Separately, on Friday, police in Rio moved to evict a new favela that had sprouted up 2 weeks ago, in an empty property owned by a Brazilian telecom. Police fired tear gas and rubber bullets, as running battles between riot cops and squatters broke out in the streets. Rio de Janeiro is attempting to overhaul its image ahead of the 2014 World Cup final, which it will host in July, and the Summer Olympics in 2016. Since 2008, the city has sent heavily armed police forces into 38 favelas, and the homicide rate statewide fell by 20% between 2008 and 2013. But the program has been criticized for failing to follow up with the delivery of public services to the favela's inhabitants. Authorities argue that the rule of law is a necessary precursor to the introduction of such services. This is the Foreign Bureau, WSJ's Global News Update.